Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Forward Progress YouTube channel for your Saturday player prop show with Hitman and myself, Jacob the Giant Gramegna, filling in today for Jason Cooper once again, ducking out on another Saturday show, but no bother. I'm in today. We got Hitman giving out 2 player props before we build an SGP together. Then at the end of the show, we'll be answering questions from the chat. You can send those questions in right now. I'll star them and save them for the end of the show for Hitman. And hey, while you're there, make sure you do hit that like button to support the show and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Bringing in Hitman here. Second time in a row, we're starting a little bit earlier. Zach is asking in the chat if it's because of another tea time. And if it is, or also, what did you shoot last week? And are we going to play better today?
I mean, you're probably not going to believe me, Zach, but I did shoot an 80, which is the best round at my new course last week. And will I do better today?
That's going to be tough.
The odds say no. I mean, my best rounds, I've shot 78 5 times, never better than that. So it's going to be tough to do better than that, but we're going to try.
Well, we look forward to the update next week. Hopefully, we do have Jason back in for that one. But let's get on with the show for today. Like I said, 2 player props in question for today. First of all, we're going to be going to the later window for the Sunday slate. We're going to be going to Dallas and Chicago. Hitman, you have an under in this game.
Yes. We're going to go in receiving yards, and we're going to go with DJ Moore, the under in this game. I believe, what is it right now? 54.5?
Yeah, 54.5 minus 114.
Yep. So it's a really good matchup, obviously, for the Chicago pass game against the Dallas defense. But even with that matchup, DJ Moore's been a guy I've been kind of down on compared to market. I bet him under in season-long props. I've been involved in some unders with him early in the year. Famously, he went over on that Monday Night Football watch-along, where on the last play he got the lateral, which counted as receiving yards. That was a tough one. But what I thought about Moore coming into the year has kind of come to fruition. About this is a really deep pass-catching core. He only has received 18% and 14% of the targets for the Bears through 2 games. And there's really not an emphasis right now on that changing. If you listen to Ben Johnson this week, a lot of the talk was about getting the tight ends more involved, maybe more packages for Luther Burden. There was talk about how if the player, Ben Johnson was saying that players that want the ball are going to start after practicing harder, and we're going to find out in practice who wants to do the little things. And Ben Johnson's always been known as a guy that's like really big on like wide receivers blocking, for example. And DJ Moore has been a player that's like notoriously in Chicago been pretty lazy without the ball in his hands. So I felt like that could have potentially been a direct shot towards DJ Moore. Well, obviously, I don't think it's going to affect his playing time, but I think it could affect the amount of plays, especially early on, that are drawn up for him. And then there's just a possibility that Rome Odunze is the wide receiver 1. I know Rome Odunze is lined a few yards higher than DJ Moore right now, but there could potentially even be a bigger gap. We don't know. It's still early in the season right now. So I just think that despite the good matchup for DJ Moore, we're going under receiving yards.
All right, we're going to get started by fading on DJ Moore for the first bet of the day. Under on receiving yards, we got it 54.5 minus 114. We're not done with that play, though. We are going to get into the second play, which is in the Vikings and Bengals game. Hitman, what are we playing here?
Yeah, so we're going to go to receptions in this one. And we are going to go with TJ Hawkinson over 3.5 receptions, minus 122. That's one of the best numbers out there in market right now. I personally did play his receiving yards as well. It's all about the move from J.J. McCarthy to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz historically has been a quarterback that has looked to target tight ends at a really high rate. He has the 3rd highest target rate to tight ends of all active NFL quarterbacks. Now, some of that's because, especially early on in his career in Philly, he did play with Zach Ertz, but it's still, I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks that played with good tight ends that don't have the target rate that he's had historically throughout his career to tight ends. So I think that might be a little bit sticky. Hawkinson's been on the field for a higher percent of dropbacks than years past. I think he's just been a victim to the Vikings' lack of volume. Like, let's face it, every single Vikings pass catcher right now is below expectation. And this is the guy in Hawkinson that historically has been like in the 4.5 catch range and 43.5, 45.5 receiving yards. So I just think that we're taking advantage potentially of a Vikings team that, yeah, through the first 2 games of JJ McCarthy, they did not throw the ball. I think that they could have a little bit higher pass rate over expectation with Carson Wentz. There was talk about when JJ McCarthy missed practice last week due to the birth of his child, like O'Connell was gushing over Carson Wentz. A ball did not hit the ground the entire practice, how good he looked. And we have seen that with backup quarterbacks, O'Connell has had success. Like Nick Mullins was lined at like 280 yards at one point as a backup quarterback for this team. Plus, we have also like Hawkinson. There's very little target competition outside of Justin Jefferson. I mean, Aaron Jones, who does garner some targets out of the backfield, is out for this game. This is the last game of Jordan Addison's suspension. Adam Thielen and Jalen Naylor haven't really shown much at the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and it's a really good matchup against a bad Bengals defense. So we'll go Hawkinson over.
All right, we're going to be going TJ Hawkinson over on the 3.5 receptions to get us going for these 2 plays for today. No third futures play for today, just something didn't quite come up for Hitman on this one. But no matter, we will move on with the show. We'll hear a word from our presenting sponsor here on the Forward Progress channel, which is the FanDuel Sportsbook, because there's a few things to keep in mind with the NFL back and when you're betting on FanDuel this season. Celebrate your wins, whether your same game parlay has 2 legs or 10 legs. Always use your legs to celebrate appropriately. No kickoff, no problem. Live betting means the next play could be your play. And number 3, if you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. And now you're ready to play your game on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to download the app today and get started. That's FanDuel.com/forwardprogress. And hey, we'll keep that in mind as we move through the show and as we get later on to the SGP on the show today. But first, our disclaimer, please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states or candidates in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is nonwithdrawable bonus bets to expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com. Or visit rg.help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right, jumping back into things, let's keep it moving into the SGP. And a reminder, we have a Q&A coming up at the end of the show, so send in your questions and we can ask them to Hitman once we get through the SGP here. And I think it's only right. You know, we've got Jacob the Giant here, who I've been known to look like Cam Scatterbo, and I did my best to wear a clothes that would resemble him as much as possible today. I think it's only right, Hitman, that we do go with Cam Scatterbo on some overs today. I actually would have liked it regardless of my affiliation with the team and the player. So let's get things started here. I want to get started with a Cam Scatterbo over on rushing yards. Do you endorse a Cam Scatterbo game here?
I endorse that. There's talk about Tyrone Tracy is still going to be a kick returner for the Giants like he was last week, which obviously helps diminish his role on offense a little bit. I'm fully on board with the Scatterbo leg.
All right. And deciding which kind of game script I want to build here for this one, I'm considering going, do we continue to go for a Kansas City win, or do we want to go for keeping it close? I think if we're on Cam Scadable here, perhaps we can build a game script surrounding an alternate spread where the Giants are keeping the game closer or maybe in a game late. So thinking of putting in the alternate spread on this one, if I can find it. Thinking of putting the alternate spread on this one, maybe at +3.5 for the Giants. How do you feel about that? Is that
I just gotta say real quick, if you notice, Cam Scadabo got bet over after you gave out. I mean,
yes.
That's something that you have over Jason. I don't know if it's because I said I endorsed it or anything, but Jason has never moved the market like you just moved the market. So credit to you.
All right. So unfortunately, we're going to have to play the 39.5 now.
Well, no, it was 37.5 when you gave it. Well, yeah, you're right. But
we haven't built it yet, so I can't in good faith say 37.
I'm sure it won't land 38 or 39, right? Never.
We'll have a great story.
You know what we can do? We can let's put in for Tyquan Thornton 40+ receiving yards. Let's get spicy on this one. This is a guy whose average depth of target has been insanely far down the field throughout this year. There's still questions about Xavier Worthy, what the receiver room looks like without it or with Xavier Worthy. Like, there's even if Thornton only runs 12, 13 routes or something, there's a possibility he goes 1 for 43.
All right.
As Tyquan Thornton is now suspended. So FanDuel not doing us many favors with this if they're watching.
All right. I guess we have to pivot off Tyquan Thornton. Damn, I like that. I like that.
I think it's apparent whatever I give, FanDuel's just going to pull it or adjust the number. But
all right. I don't know how to pivot here. If we maybe one more try. If it locks, then we'll have to just give.
We could pivot. We could pivot towards Mahomes. We could pivot towards Mahomes under rush yards.
All right, Mahomes under rush yards. That will be how we play it today for the show. However, I'll say we've given you the ingredients here to perhaps build something else involving Tyquan Thornton, Cam Scadaboo over on rushing yards. We also have Patrick Mahomes under on the rush yards. Okay, here's how we'll play it. Cam Scadaboo over 39.5 rush yards. Giants, are we going to go with the spread here at 3.5? Or you want to add some?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
All right. We'll go Giants plus 3.5. Hopefully keeping the game closer. Patrick Mahomes under 25.5 rush yards, plus 411 at FanDuel. Also consider Tyquan Thornton when that market does come back up, as Hitman mentioned there. That will be what we lock in for the Forward Progress show for today. But again, we got some smart people in the chat, I'm sure, as well. All right, let's get to the chat. If you guys got any question for Hitman, please send them on in. We have first question. Do you think, it's a question regarding Matthew Stafford in general, do you think he has what it takes to throw around against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes, I would maybe look at live opportunities in this and find out early who the receiver is that the Rams are matching up on Adoree Jackson and look to maybe potentially go live overs on that receiver. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, my guess is they try to get Devontae Adams matched up with Jackson, but the Rams are so diverse in their packages and where receivers line up. It could be anybody, but try to identify that and maybe look towards an over on that receiver.
All right. Noted for the first question here. Same user, John Smith, asked about how much of a downgrade is it for Tyrod Taylor, and are the Jets live to win?
I like the Jets this week. At current market, plus 6.5 on the Jets is my favorite bet. I don't think it's a big downgrade. I don't. I mean, slight, very slight, in my opinion. Are they live to win? I mean, if I like the Jets, again, it's Saturday NFL. The limits are huge right now. It's not like I have some massive edge, if any edge, on Saturday NFL on a line that's been this line for 3-4 days. But yeah, I'll say they're live to win since I do like the plus 6.5.
Yeah, FanDuel moved off of my Scattaboo recommendation earlier, so I will say I also like the New York Jets and have had them.
I mean, also like Mahomes under 29.5 rushing, like that was more like kind of like a forced play, and they moved it 4 yards. So I mean, if somebody wants to come back with the over on that, go for it.
It's gonna move back. Also, on the conversation of Tyrod Taylor, also important to remember that the Bucs O-line is absolutely decimated, so it should be easier for him to thrive in those settings. Next question. Zach Smith asks, is there a buy point on the Commanders if flat 2.5s start to show up in that one?
Again, I try not to have some super strong opinion on Saturday NFL, but I lean towards the Raiders at +3 in that game. So even if 2.5 shows up, I'm gonna pass. I think Washington. I really don't love this roster around Jaden Daniels. Like, I really think that Jaden Daniels has just carried this team last year, and I think there's still a lot of questions with the supporting cast around him. So Mariota there now, I would not bet -2.5 if it showed up.
And the last question we have for today, we talked about the downgrade from for Jets quarterbacks. How about a downgrade from when you don't get to use the yellow Pro V1 on the rate or on the course? Sorry.
Occasionally I will put up the white Pro. Like very occasionally, I put up the white Pro V1
on the green. Right? You swap the ball on the green.
No, that again, psychotic behavior. I mean, Rob Pizzola. I look at him differently every time I think about him after that story. To be honest with you. But no doubt. Just gives me good vibes to have the yellow ball. Does it matter in my score? I don't know, but it helps the vibes.
I didn't really see much of anything that would help other than you're right. When you are driving up and you've got two balls in the same area, you know which one's yours right away. It just kind of gives you a little bit more time to think and process. I do think that gives you the slightest of edges when you're on the course. I mean,
too, like when your ball's in the fescue or something, like just being able to know right away, that's it. It helps.
Absolutely. All right. Bonus one, just because another one came in late here. Thoughts on Pat's Steelers? New England is very lucky last week to win. Any thoughts for you, Hitman, on this game? Just going to see the spread -1.5 currently in favor of the Steelers.
I took Patriots in some contests. I also teased. I actually like New England in teasers also. Pittsburgh's not the team right now that I'm really dying to. They're a team to win by margin. It's just a little tougher on them, in my opinion, compared to some other 2-point favorites or whatever. So, I like the Pats and teasers. Make sure if you are playing teasers that you're getting them at -120. Still some rogue spots that still have them. And I took Pats and contests.
There you go. All right. That will do it from us on the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hitman Prop Show on Saturday. I've been your host, Jacob Gramegna. You can follow Hitman with the links in the description. You also check out a lot of the other stuff we have with the Hammer Betting Network. But also for this channel, you like NFL content. Because you're here, make sure you do drop a like to support this show. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the content we have over the course of the week here on the Forward Progress channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network. We will see you again next week for more NFL content.